What's up, Happy Family? Crossman sent us this Benjamin Armada for free, and let's unbox it and check it out. In the packaging, you get a target that the people over at Crossman or Benjamin, I don't know, one of them shot at just to make sure the gun's working, and you can see the groupings of 5 shots at 10 yards just to show that the gun's working. They tested it. You get 2 M-LOK to Picatinny rails. You get 1 10-round 177 caliber magazine, an Allen key, 2 scope mounts, a little card that says don't return this to the store. You get a bipod that attaches with a bipod mount, or if you want to, you can attach it with a Picatinny mount that it comes with. So you got this bipod and you can use it with Picatinny or just the bipod mount, whatever you like better. You get the owner's manual in 3 different languages, English, French, and German. Of course, you get the rifle and you get a scope. So first, I'll talk about the rifle. So this rifle is a PCP-powered rifle, so you fill it up with air, and it takes a 10-round magazine, and it fires pellets. This rifle is actually suppressed, which I'll talk about later. You can buy a standard version of this rifle, or you could buy a Magpul version, and the only difference is the Magpul version comes with licensed Magpul accessories, like the stock and pistol grip. That's the only difference. This is a standard version. You can also buy this in 3 calibers. You can buy this in 177, which is what we have. You can buy it in 22 caliber pellets if you'd like, or 25 caliber pellets. Now I'll talk about the parts. First of all, we have a little barrel cap up here for safety. We have the barrel here. This barrel is actually suppressed. How this works is you have a screw right here, and you can unscrew this. And I'll just pull out one. So these little baffles are all inside the barrel and a spring at the bottom. I don't know how many, but what this does is when you shoot the pellet, it goes through all these baffles and it suppresses it, so it's not very loud. You can take these out if you'd like to, and it'll just not be suppressed. It'll be kind of loud. I'm not sure how loud, but I'm just gonna leave them in. Now, this cap right here, we can unscrew this, and right here is where we attach a hand pump, or you can attach either a tank or a hand pump, whatever you'd like, and you fill up the gun with air. The maximum pressure you can fill this gun up to is 3,000 PSI, and it's recommended you have the air at between 2,000 to 3,000. Right below it, you have a standard bipod mount, which this bipod has, so you can mount a regular bipod on here if you want. If you don't want to use this one, like let's say you have a Harris bipod or something, your own bipod you like, you can mount it on here. And if you have a bipod you want to mount on, that's not with the bipod mount, with Picatinny, you can always mount the little Picatinny pieces here onto the M-LOK and then put a Picatinny bipod if you want to. So that's the bipod mount. So you have 3 covers for the handguard that go over the M-LOK. You have one on the bottom, the side, and this side. You can take these off if you want to. You can move them around, whatever. They just go onto the handlock. Right under here, you have a PSI gauge to look at your PSI. Right now it's at 0, so if I cock it and shoot, it's not gonna do anything. We have the safety here right in front of the trigger. Forward for fire and backwards for safety. You have a standard AR pistol grip, so any kind of normal AR pistol grip will work on here. You also have an adjustable stock here. And what's cool, what I'll show you, is if I take the stock off, you actually have a mil-spec buffer tube, so you can put on any regular AR stock that you'd like to put on. All along the top of the gun, you have Picatinny rail. You have a piece here, and then all up here for adding any kind of sight or scope you'd like to. You have the bolt here. It comes with a cover on it. Every time you fire, you gotta cock it to chamber 1 new round. This bolt is ambidextrous. You can actually take the bolt out and switch it around, what I like, because I'm left-handed. So if you're left-handed, you can take the bolt off and switch it around. It comes set for right-handed shooters, but if you want to switch it, you can. It is ambidextrous bolts. I'm not gonna do this in the video now because honestly, I don't actually know how, but I'll figure it out later and maybe do it in another video. You have the trigger right here behind. It's a 2-stage trigger. You have a very light pull on the first stage, and then a little bit harder. I'm not gonna show you where the screws are, but under where the trigger is and where the safety is, there's screws for adjusting the trigger weight, the first stage, the second stage, and where the trigger sits when you're not using it. So you get these two little Picatinny pieces here you can mount onto the M-lock if you want to. How this works is you get two screws, put one in the front, one in the back. We take one of these pieces and tighten the screw a little bit on both sides, so you have two of these pieces and two screws. Then you just take these pieces and insert it into the M-lock right here, and I'll put it right there, and you can tighten the screw. I'm just gonna go ahead and put both of these pieces of Picatinny on so I don't lose them. And even though I'm not gonna use them, it's not gonna hurt anything to have them on. So I have a .177 caliber 10-round magazine. Now, if you have a 25 caliber version of this, then you have an 8-round magazine. So what you do is you have this little plastic piece and there's an arrow. Now you're gonna move the plastic piece in the direction of the arrow until you get to a little bump here. Now you're just gonna push it a little bit forward until you get past that bump. Now you're gonna take your first pellet and have your finger under this hole so it doesn't fall out. And you're gonna take the pellet and insert it in. That will hold the inside of the magazine there so it doesn't move around. And then you can just continue turning the plastic piece back the opposite direction from where you started, loading each pellet through the hole until you get here. So now to insert the magazine. To insert the magazine, you lift the bolt up and cock it back. You take your magazine, make sure the plastic is facing backwards, or make sure the clear plastic is facing backwards. Insert it where you hear the click, and then you'd bring the bolt forward to chamber around. Now my bolt's not going forward because I don't have any ammo in the magazine, but if you had ammo in the magazine, at least one round, then your bolt would go forward and you could chamber one round. Now the bipod. The bipod is here. How it works is you put the legs down, and they may be kind of fast because they have a spring. The legs are adjustable for height. You push these buttons to pop the legs out, and then you hold it down and you can put it wherever you'd like. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your bipod mount on your gun and the pieces here, align it up, and tighten your screw. And you have your bipod attached. The bipod also comes with a Picatinny mount if you want to use Picatinny instead of the bipod mount. So this has the same bipod mount as you do on the gun, and you attach it the same way. And now we got the same thing, just with Picatinny, if we want to use that instead. So here it is with the bipod attached. Now to the scope. It's made by Centerpoint Outdoors. So in the packaging, you get an Allen key, you get a mil-dot range estimate reference chart, you get a little cleaning cloth for your lenses, you get a sun hood, just so you don't get too much sun. If it's a really sunny day, you can screw this on to the objective lens. You get detachable covers if you want. You can keep them off, or you can have them on. It's a 4:16 magnification by 56mm wide objective lens. So it's a pretty powerful magnified scope, and it's a big objective lens, so you can get a lot of light, so you have a great sight picture. Right here you get this ring. You have 4 all the way up to 16. Using this ring, you can adjust your magnification. Then here, you can focus. This top turret here is for adjusting your elevation. The right turret is for adjusting windage, and the left turret is for adjusting parallax. On the turrets, each click is 1/4 of an inch at 100 yards for knowing how to adjust it. Let's mount it onto the gun. Now I have the bipod and the scope on the rifle. So Crossman also sent us this Benjamin high pressure hand pump for free. And since the gun is PCP powered, we're gonna need this hand pump. So first thing I need to do is attach the handles here with the 2 long screws that it provides. Now what we can do is we're gonna turn it upside down and attach the base plate. Just goes on here upside down like this. And we're gonna use the 2 flat screws that it came with. Now I'm gonna pump the gun up. So first thing you need to do is unscrew this right in the front. You're going to take your wire and connect it. Give it a little tug to make sure it's on there. Now you're going to take the blade screw here. We can close it by tightening it, and then we can pump the gun. And I need to get the gun up to 3,000 PSI. So the gauge reads about 2,500 PSI, and I'm just gonna bleed it out now. You should always bleed out the line before you take it off. So I zeroed the scope in and we're a little over 20 yards away, and I'm gonna take 5 shots from the target and see what my groupings are. I'm using Crossman Premier pellets. These are the pointed ones, and they're for maximum penetration at long distance. I'm at basically the same distance, and I'm gonna try shooting the bird target and the metal 22 targets. So here are my final thoughts on the gun. Overall, as long as you zero the scope in, it's very consistent, and I love that a lot. I love how you can change the bolt if you're right-handed or left-handed, and I finally figured out how to do that. You can see I changed the bolt for me to left-handed. I love how it has a standard AR pistol grip and a mil-spec buffer tube, so you can put on whatever pistol grip or stock you like. It's cool how it comes with the M-lock rail and the little Picatinny attachment pieces, so you can put on whatever you want. It comes with actually a very good bipod and a very good center point scope. So that's my final thoughts on the gun. Okay, Happy Family, it's shout out time. The first shout out goes to Noodlehead115. The next shout out goes to unofficial.mute. The next shout out goes to Brent Acoustic. The next shout out goes to the Gamer Solo Games, and thanks for watching since we started. The next shout out goes to Nintendo Bro Games. The next shout out goes to Marchie. The next shout out goes to Yamahawk11. The next shout out goes to Alejandra Gonzalez. Alejandra, thanks for watching since the first video. The next shout out goes to Colton Sour1 Sour2. And the last shout out goes to Pokemon Evolutions Primetime Kurt. Thanks for watching since 2016. Okay, Happy Family, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notifications button. Be happy, peace out.